Hi guys, in this lesson we'll continue learning how to play using kings and how to play against kings. So the topic of today's lesson is king against kings. As you already know, the king is the most powerful piece in checkers. So what happens if your opponent will get to a king? Is it still possible to win the game? Of course it is. Everything will be explained in this video. Before we will involve kings for both sides, dark and light, let's analyze what happens if your opponent gets to a king. At this moment, winning of the game becomes much more difficult. But still you need to remember what you learned in the last lesson. There are possibilities of preparing the loop. Loops are the way of catching opponent's king. In this situation, as you can see, 4 of light pieces are cut off on the main diagonal by dark king. But having 4 pieces gives you an opportunity to prepare perfect loops. In this position, the right move to play is 40 to 34, and after short analysis you can see that dark king has no place to go. For example, if it plays to 37, it will be captured this way, using the majority capture rule. The only possibility of capturing is having 3 pieces. 1, 2, 3, and the king is captured. Okay, what happens if the king goes to the other side of the board? Now, once again, majority capture rule works. 33, 28. And the only possibility is once again to take 3 pieces. Even if dark king would attack white pieces, here, standing on 23, this move works perfectly. This is not allowed because you must take 3 pieces and lose the game. How many kings you need to win the game against your opponent's 1 king? This question will be answered later in this video. But there are particular situations where you can win having only 1 king against opponent's king. At this diagram you can see some kind of puzzle of combination to solve. Now white pieces start and win the game, and the crucial position should be something that you remember from the previous lesson. The right move to play is to go 36 to 22, giving your opponent the possibility, 2 different possibilities actually, of taking 2 white kings. The first one is to go to 5 and the second one is to go to 46. No matter which direction dark king chooses, it goes to the corner of the main diagonal. And now there is a space to play to the second corner of the main diagonal. Dark king is on the move and it loses the game, because anywhere it will go, it will be captured. This is the only situation when 1 king wins against 1 king. Like I mentioned, you need more kings to win against your opponent's 1 king if it is in the safe place of the board. But there are many different areas where you can try to lock or capture opponent's king having less than needed number of kings. For example, here the piece 45 can go to the king on the square number 50, and it is so called the double line. So once your 2 kings are as well on the double line, you can try to lock your opponent there. In this situation, the right move to play is to take the first of double line, and once your opponent goes to the king, you can take the second one of the double lines. And after next move, just block it. Now the only line where dark king can go is that line, and white wins. Another really nice example of winning having only 2 kings against opponent's king and piece in this situation. As you can see, both king and piece are on this area, as well as white king is. So sometimes it's a good idea to try to bring to this area our another king. The right move to play is 5 to 19. And there are few options for dark pieces. The first one is of course going with the king, but after move to 40 or 44 it will be easily captured by one king. And if the king goes to 49, it will be blocked. Two possible diagonals are limited out of the possibilities by two white kings. The last option for dark pieces is to play with the piece 30 to 34, but with such move, this king standing on 90 was attacked by this dark king from 35, and the right move to play 16 to 2, and easily winning the game. Of course, if having two kings against one king gives you some possibilities of victory, as well having three kings will give you some chances of winning the game. And what is interesting, this is the position from the real game between five-time world champion Alexander Schwarzman playing with white against Grandmaster from the Netherlands Jos Stockel. And three kings is still not enough to win every game against one opponent's king. In this position you must count for the mistake from your opponent, and Alexander Schwarzman played this move 13 to 31, and his opponent, let me remind you, the Grandmaster, made a mistake and played here to 25. Finally, this line of this area was cut off, and then the dark king was quite easily captured. When we are talking about three kings against one king positions, you could know this famous position. In this situation, white kings play from 14 to 32. And after analyzing all the possibilities of dark king, it comes up with the conclusion. It is winning position for white kings. But I will not show you all the options. It's the job for you. I hope you'll enjoy it. Finally, we get to a point. To win each game against one opponent's king, you need at least 4 kings. So just imagine how difficult it is and how powerful the king is if you need at least 4 kings to catch it. Let's analyze where the dark king can go. If it stays, for example, somewhere on the main diagonal or on the right side of the board, it will be captured easily with this loop. King takes, and it will be captured on the next move. If it goes to the other side, like for example 37, of course it will be captured that way. The same loop, but from the other side. If this king will go to the 35 square, we have 2 options of winning the game. For example, we can sacrifice this king 34 to 40. If it takes to the end, you have the situation that you have seen already in this lesson. The double line blocking move. Collecting one and second one of the corners of double line. It wins the game. Of course, this is the possibility. Second one can be, for example, 45 to 40. And once again, we can block it on the double line, or we can just take it after sacrificing another king. This is the way to win. This is the key position number 1. I said number 1 because there is also a possibility of building the key position number 2. That looks like that. 4 kings standing in the corner, leaving this empty square between those 4 kings. Let's take a look at possibilities. Of course, if dark king stays somewhere there is a loop that way with victory. If it goes to the other corner, for example, we can win that way. And the most difficult option for white kings is once dark king will go here to 26, because then you need to block it, and once it will go somewhere back, then you use the same loop as was showed before. To win against one opponent's king, you need at least 4 kings. It's the most important thing to remember from this video. But what if your opponent has more kings than 1? What if he has 2 kings? Then it is necessary to have at least 5 kings to win. And this is a famous key position. The most difficult position to win is when your opponent takes 2 of the double lines of the board. In this situation, to catch both opponent's kings, you need to make a silent move. Just wait to change a tempo. Now, once order goes to your opponent, he has to move somewhere, for example from 45 to 1, because otherwise, if he would go, for example, 40 to 34, it will be captured easily after making the loop and collecting 2 kings. It's not safe to stay in the middle of the board, so it's logical to play to the edge, to the last square of the double line. And in this case, we win using the double loop. Can you find it by yourself? Please try, because it's really, really nice. We sacrifice the king from the square number 5, for example, to 28, collecting the first king, and with this capture, we prepare the second out of the double loop. And that way we win, having 5 kings against 2 opponent's kings. How did you like this lesson? Let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave the thumb up under the video and of course to subscribe the checkersTV YouTube channel. In the next lesson I'll prepare some practical exercises for you, but be careful, those will be the most difficult than all the previous ones on this channel. See you there!